Fascism is defined like this: a mass political movement that emphasizes extreme nationalism, militarism, and the supremacy of the nation over the individual. Fascist leaders believe in the supremacy of certain groups based on characteristics. Cult of personality is huge with fascism. Ladies and gentlemen, Optimus Prime might be the greatest undercover fascist of all. And look, before you leave, it's not because he's necessarily an evil person. I believe fascism is directly inputted into his programming from the start. He can't avoid it no matter what side he chooses to go to in battle. He can't avoid it no matter what he does. It's part of his nature. This theory will take parts of Transformers 1 and the Bayverse to create a theory that makes sense and makes both this movie and the Bayverse better. Yes, my theory is going to improve the most schizophrenic franchise ever, the Bayverse. Autobots function in a specific structure. Okay, some people will call it functionalism, where specific bots essentially have designated roles. Now this leaves a large portion of the population disaffected. It takes away individuality while segregating them into specific workplaces. In Transformers 1, Sentinel Prime took the cogs of specific Transformers away, so their ability to transform was gone and they were forced to be slaves. In the Transformers hierarchy, your ability to transform will literally dictate what role you get. And when you don't have it at all, you are literally a slave. That's what Optimus Prime and Megatron started off as in Transformers 1. Literally slaves working in a mine shaft. But they were happy down there, or at least that's what they thought they were, right? Because they believed in their leader, Sentinel Prime, who cultivated a cult of personality. And every fascist dictator loves this specific thing. Convince the lower class people, the working man, the little guy, that you have their best interest at heart. Meanwhile, everything that you have, all your interests are aligned with the corporate, sinister things. That's what he does. What do you think he does with the quintessence? Gives them Cybertronium in exchange for a stake of leadership of the goddamn planet. This is textbook definition of what fascism is. And look at Optimus Prime. When he's gifted the matrix of leadership, we are forced to believe that, oh, this is because you're a great person morally, Optimus. You show courage, but you show empathy and all this shit. Do we think he's being given this to dismantle the system? No. He's been given this to inherit the system. To inherit this same hierarchy for a different cause, albeit, because the cause that Sentinel Prime was creating got corrupted because the quintessence are natural enemies of the Transformers, but still. He was given this to inherit that hierarchy, recreate it for a different cause. Guess what happens? The ones who are fighting for the freedom of all robots to completely destroy the caste system, they're labeled extremists and terrorists. Like Megatron. Optimus Prime is labeled a goddamn hero. Because he's not changing the status quo. He's keeping it, but relieving it of the extremists and the oppressors. But the cycle will start again. That's how this shit works. So the man who started off as a slave, becoming a political thinker who wants to free the nation, the civilization, while using people who were once the soldiers of that nation, the vanguard, to do it, they're terrorists now? This is like a more fucked up version of American ISIS. And what does Optimus Prime do? He starts a benevolent oligarchy. Similar rhetoric to Sentinel Prime. This is for all you, all the people. Convincing the working man, this is for them. But the status quo remains unchanged. Megatron's the one who's trying to change the status quo. The problem is Megatron's killing people and blowing shit up. That's his issue. Autobots rule and maintain the status quo. The caste system looks better, but it's repackaged in a way that's prettier and all this, but it's still the same shit. Now, some people could say, Zaffy though, Optimus ain't a bad guy though. If you're given the matrix of leadership, that means you're a good guy. In Optimus's eyes, going after Sentinel Prime and overthrowing all this corruption, in his eyes he was doing the right thing. I agree with you 100%. You can make an argument that Transformers 1, even though the regime that Optimus Prime is trying to maintain is a little bit fascist, maybe he himself is not a fascist, okay? But the Bayverse? Oh my god. This man's a fascist. All his rhetoric reminds me of this colonial protector vibe. But everything he says, look at this. Earth, the humans, they are mine to protect. This is literally, what the hell kind of quote is this? He's talking about them like they're his pet animals. There's a mindset here. There's a mindset here that undercurrents the verbiage that Optimus Prime uses. This might be stretched to some of you, but it's true, okay? He also acts like judge, jury, and executioner at all times. When it comes to the people that disaffect from his ideology, he goes after them with an iron fist. He literally starts a fascist military organization with humans called Nest that hunts down Decepticons, people who disagree with his ideology basically, all the rebels, and brutally murders the shit out of them with no due process. There's no juries here, none of that. They're simply executed on sight. And some of these Decepticons are just chilling, disguised as cars and trucks, just chilling. They're not killing anybody. They don't come out and start causing destruction until Optimus and Nest come after them. It's a scene in Revenge of the Fallen. Is this fascism? Look at Sentinel Prime. Look, Sentinel did some horrible things. He was trying to basically pull a General Zod and genocide humans but for what reason? To recreate his home, recreate his civilization, Cybertron, okay? Look at this quote. You didn't betray me, Optimus, you betrayed yourself. And Optimus, what does Optimus say? You die! Literally fascist. This is a battle of ideology. We're trying to save our race, Optimus. Optimus doesn't want that. Optimus brutally kills them. Why? Because Optimus values ideology over his own civilization. Yes, he's completely okay with ruling a civilization as long as it's on his terms. This is not like Clark Kent versus Zod. Clark Kent grew up and was raised by humans, and then these Kryptonians are coming to genocide everyone and recreate their world. This is not what Optimus Prime's story is. Optimus Prime came down here to rule planet Earth on his terms. This whole, I'm saving humanity from a different species. No. You're saving humanity from a rule that you yourself don't agree with. Because you believe your rule is the only right way, and anyone who doesn't agree with you gets fucking executed. That is the truth about Optimus Prime. And nothing is more explicit with this than his role in The Last Knight. That movie is one of the most schizophrenic movies of all time, but there's a very important key element here. Quintessa, the so-called goddess of Cybertron who created the Cybertronians. I don't know how lore accurate that is, but that in the Bayverse it's stated that way. Maybe she was tricking him, I don't know. But in the movie, she brainwashes Optimus to go evil and do her biddings for her, while Unicron's like awakening from his slumber on Earth. This is not brainwashing. This was his initial programming. As a robot, designed and built maybe by Quintessa or gods like her, he was made to be this. Over time, he was able to release himself from his programming, gain some subconscious and consciousness of his own, and fight for a different cause. But that same programming exists within him. She just unearthed it. He was born to be an authoritarian killer. His true nature is to come after Bumblebee and humans and destroy them. That's his true nature. Now, once he relieved himself of that programming, he was able to flip it and say, no, I'm protecting humans, but no. He is the same authoritarian figure, just for a different cause. Now, when he snaps out of the brainwashing, he resumes command as if nothing happened. This is not the case. This is who he always was. He's deluded himself into thinking, I'm not that guy. I'm a protector of humans. No. Optimus, you have always been an authoritarian killer. You're just doing it for the side you think is correct. But your programming is still kicking in no matter what you think. Quintessa just flipped it and redirected the trigger. She redirected the gun. But the gun is still a gun regardless. You are the gun, Optimus. The fascist gun. Now, people are going to say, Zafy, how the hell is Optimus a fascist if the Autobots have been helping humans against fascist regimes? They've been helping humans against authoritarian shit, like the Nazis. They were fighting against slavery. They were helping Harriet Tubman with the Underground Railroad, for God's sake, Zafy. How are you going to say that this is fascist? Here's the difference. They don't want forced slavery, human on human slavery, nothing like that, where whips and shit are involved. They don't want slavery like that. They want their slavery to be nuanced. The same slavery of the old regime. Slavery by manipulation, by convincing humanity that this is their freedom. That's the slavery they want. This is a much more subtle, smart way of going about slavery. Not the freaking, let's whip a certain people and have them pick out cotton. No. They don't believe in that at all. Optimus ain't that bad. But his slavery is a bit more sinister and diabolical. And when it comes to the Nazis, removing a competing or a rival ideology, it's paramount to any group of beings that's trying to control a specific civilization. If there's any single other group that's trying to do the same, you got to be eliminated. So as much as they might have hated Nazis on a moral level for doing shit like genociding and all that, because it hits close to home for Transformers, there's a more tactical need for it. League of Shadows, what do they try to do? Silently manipulate global events, destroy cities over time, take over. gain power and influence in certain structures so that they can manipulate and form history in their own terms. This is what the fuck Autobots and Transformers have been doing with their history of Earth. It starts with manipulating royal families like our King Arthur, Merlin, his entire bloodline for God's sakes, until they get to Archibald, Witwicky, right? You're manipulating entire bloodlines and influencing history, seeding yourself into the history of man so that they can trust you over time and you can gain more power over time. It's a fucking psyop. It's top-down control. And Optimus found out different Transformers were doing this with different bloodlines. He's like, okay, I need to find the new descendants and re-establish this control. And the most damning evidence of this comes with Sam Witwicky. But with the whole cube and all that shit, but more particular, people should wonder, how the hell was Sam able to get these two? Think about this. These two are women that are completely out of his realm of existence league-wise, right? But how does he get them? Is it because he's a Riz master? Is it because he's a Chad? No, this is a psyop. This is a psyop. Now, some could say, how would the Transformers use Megan Fox as a psyop? If anything, she would be distracting Sam from his quest to help him. No, false. She would be the ultimate motivator for this hormonal teenager to do as they please. Because as long as she is there in the purview of danger, as long as she's there for him to want to impress, he's going to do whatever it takes to be the hero. She also stops him from getting abducted and destroyed by different Decepticons throughout the movies, like Isabel Lucas, who was literally a Transformer Terminator, literally. Megan Fox was there to stop this. Why do you think Bumblebee was rooting so hard for these two to get together? Why would he care about humans hooking up? He was doing it because he needs Sam to fall in love with her so that she could be the ultimate tool to control him. Think about the goddamn Pop the Hood scene. Bumblebee made this happen. He intentionally screwed up his own engine so she would go and pop the hood and Sam would see her. Bumblebee's a high IQ and he was getting these orders directly from Optimus. You have to believe that. And what happens at the end of this date that they have? He gets hyped and says, oh my God, I love my car. This was a psyop. Making him love the car through her. This is the ultimate tactical manipulation that fascists love to use, for God's sakes. She's a plant. She's a plant from Optimus Prime. But she doesn't even know it. Whether she knows it or not, she's a plant. Optimus Prime is one of the most high IQ aliens of all time. And if you want more proof, Ironhide literally senses Shia LaBeouf's hormones around her. He literally states it in a dialogue in Transformer 1. His hormone level is rising in response to the girl or some shit like that. The Transformers know human biology and they know how to manipulate it. This guy's a fascist who believes he's a hero. That's the truth. All these violent dictators probably believe they're the good guy in their own story. He's one of them, y'all. He's just like Dominic Toretto, a false prophet, a false hero. I will make a whole video exposing this fraud. I probably have a video ready for you to watch at the end screen of this. Just wait for it. I don't even know what it's going to be, but that is why Optimus Prime is a fascist. Like and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.